The following will be a quick demonstration on how to add an asset to a work order. I'm going to walk you through the details of how to add the asset. It is also covered in the PowerPoint presentation, but this is just a quick demo showing you how. So the first thing you'll want to do is go into the location. Anytime you need to add an asset, you'll have to add the asset from the location. So the first thing we do, currently the view you see right now is the work order. So you can click on the location name. You'll see it's highlighted in blue, meaning it's a quick link. So I'll click on the Boise white paper, and it'll bring you to the location. So from the location screen, you could scroll down and see what assets are currently assigned to this location. And you'll notice that we have 4 assets that are currently associated to this location. You'd want to do a quick view to see if the piece of equipment that you're working on is added as an asset. If it is not, you'll have to add a new asset. So you do this by clicking on Actions in the upper right hand screen. So I'm going to click on Actions, and I'm going to create an asset. So from this is where you add all the information for your asset. The first thing I'm going to do is scan the asset tag. So you'll notice on the selection where it says asset tag, you can click on the little symbol that looks like a barcode, and that pulls up your scanner. So the first thing I'm going to do is scan my asset tag, and it pre-populates it into the field. The next thing I'm going to do is select my product family. In this scenario, it's going to be an EOD. Equipment type, let's just say it's a hydraulic EOD. The manufacturer name is Right Height, and the date installed. So you're going to notice that, well, obviously in a lot of situations you're not going to know what date the piece of equipment was installed. So for this instance, we're going to just select as a default January 1st of 1956. So that is going to be the default that we use in situations where we do not know when it was installed. So the description is simply where you would put the model of the equipment. I'm just going to type in EOD because obviously I don't know the model, but this is where you type in the model of the equipment. The manufacturer serial number, you just type in, or some manufacturers have an actual barcode you can scan, but I'm just going to pretend the serial number is 123456. And the physical location, this is actually where it is in the facility you're working on. I'm just going to say it's in dock number 1. Dock 1. And then after you get all your information added, you can click Save. And it will bring you to a brief overview of the information you just typed in. So you can see the asset tag was 89, product family, description, equipment type. And now I'm going to hit the upper left-hand corner where it takes me back to the location. So, as you can see, here's the asset that's added. 00089 was the asset that I just added. So now that I've added it to the location, I can go back into my work order by clicking on the upper left-hand corner. And now that I'm back on my work order, I want to click on Actions, Log Work Order Details, Log Work Order Details, and then I'm going to, after I click on Log Work Order Details, you'll notice that Add comes up below Customer Assets and Customer Generic Asset. I'm going to go ahead and click on Add underneath Customer Assets. And this screen will pop up. This is a Customer Asset screen. So from here, if I click on the box that says Customer Asset ID, it'll bring up a list of assets that are currently associated to that location. So you see here that 00089, the one I just created, is listed under here. So I'm going to select that, and it pre-populates all the information, and then I'm going to click done in the upper right hand corner. So now that I've added this 00089 as an asset, the next thing I'm going to do is add the parts that I used to repair that asset. So if you see here the three little dots on that line, I can click on those three little dots, and a pop-up will come up, and I'm going to select Service Work Codes and Parts. So my Service Work Codes and Parts come up. This is where I'm going to add my parts, and I'm going to add the notes for the order. So if I click on Add underneath Parts Truck, it'll pull up another pop-up with a part number and consumed from what location. So I'm going to click on Part box, and it brings up a list of parts. If you need, we've pre-populated the parts with the long description. If you need further clarification, you can click on the I for more additional information, and it'll give you a little more explanation of what that part is. So let's just click. I'm just going to say we put a bridge bar on this asset. I'm going to say I consumed it from location or truck number 167. And once I put in the part and where I consumed it from, I can click done. And you'll notice now that that part shows up underneath parts and truck. While I'm here, I'm also want to put notes to the order. So I can click on Add underneath Service Work Codes. And from the service code box, I can click that. And these service codes are just a brief explanation of various work that is done. They're just considered a quick note to help fill out the information on the order, kind of keep the process moving quickly. If you want, so let's take this one for example. Code number 300 is a repair with parts. If you want to see specifically what that one says, you can click on the I again, and it'll tell you that it says technician obtained parts to complete work. You'll notice in that little pop-up. If that one is selected, it'll populate on the customer review that the customer signs, and what gets sent to the customer. So we're going to go ahead and select 300, and you can see that repair with parts populates in that field. A field right below that says service notes, and if you click on that, this is where you would type in the rest of your work order notes. Now if you click in the box, the keyboard will obviously come up, and you can type whatever you want. But you could also do voice to text by clicking on the microphone. Well, obviously it needs a little, I need to talk probably a little clearer, but I'm going to try it one more time. Let's tap on the microphone. So I'll just go back and correct dark to dock. And then I'm going to click update. So after I clicked update, now I can hit done. And it saved the notes. I have my parts on it. I've listed my notes. And now I can click save in the upper right hand corner. So now I'm brought back to my home screen, my home work order screen, and I've added the assets that I worked on. I've added the parts that I've used, and now actually I want to, before I have the customer sign it, I'm gonna put who is going to sign it. So you would do this at the situation where you're ready for the customer to sign it. So you click on the box that says Service Report Signed By. And I'm just going to type who's going to sign it. So Joe Smith is going to sign it, and then I'm going to click save. So So now I have all my information to the order. I have who's going to sign it. You'll see that I have my labor and travel in there. I have my work codes, which was repair with parts. I have my assets associated. And I'm ready for the customer to sign. So I click on Actions in the upper right hand corner and I hit Customer Review. And you'll notice on the customer review, you can see what I worked on, what the asset number was, what the manufacturer ID was, and the notes that I typed. So once you're ready for the customer to sign, you click on Tap to Sign. The customer would sign it with their finger. Click Done. And then on the upper right hand corner, click Done again. And now you're ready to complete the work order. So I'm going to click on Actions in the upper right hand corner. So you'll see some different options here. You'll see work completed and you'll see work pending. Only hit work completed if you're done with the job and it's not going to require a return trip. You'll hit work pending if you need a work trip. So in this situation, we're going to just say we completed the work. So I'm going to click on Work Complete. It'll come up with the options of if there's any follow-up required. You can see there's follow-up here, parts need to be ordered, customer would like visit from sales rep. You can select these if you want somebody to follow up with this order. So click what you need follow up. You can type any additional notes if you want. But if there's no additional notes, you're ready just to hit save. So now I've saved the order and you're on your way. You're done with that order and you're ready to go to your next job. So that is how to add parts and notes to your work order.